In this video, we're going to take derivatives of some functions using the chain rule. So remember that the chain rule says that the derivative with respect to x of f of g of x is equal to f prime of g of x. So we leave the inside function alone and start by taking the derivative of the outside function, f prime of g of x, and then we multiply by the derivative of the inside function. So that is the chain rule. And we use it when we take the derivative of a function or a function inside of a function. So let's just do these first two, and I'll let you try those out and pause, and then I'll go over the solutions, and then we'll do some more together as well. So our first function is y equals 3 times the sine of 5x squared plus 8x. Our second function is f of x equals x cubed minus 2x to the 6th power. So grab a piece of paper, pause, try those out, and we'll talk about them in a moment. Okay, so 3 times sine of 5x squared plus 8x. So 5x squared plus 8x is our inside function. That's our g of x. And 3 sine of x is our outside function. This is our f of x. So let's now take the derivative using the chain rule. So y prime is derivative of 3 sine of something is 3 cosine of that anything. Now we leave the inside function alone, 5x squared plus 8x. And now we multiply by the derivative of the inside function. Derivative of the inside function is 10x plus 8 is the derivative of the inside, and you do need those parentheses, so don't forget them. It is not the same value if we don't have the parentheses, because without the parentheses, all of this is just multiplied by this piece and not by this piece. So if we wish, we could rewrite that slightly. We could rewrite that as, let's say, 3 times 10x plus 8 times cosine of 5x squared plus 8x. So not a big difference, just putting the polynomial out front. Okay, now looking at f of x equals x cubed minus 2x. So our inside function is this, x cubed minus 2x, and then it is raised to the 6th power. So this is the outside function. This is our f of something, is taking that something to the 6th power. And our something inside is our x cubed minus 2x. So now let's take the derivative using the chain rule. The derivative of the outside function, derivative of something to the 6th power, is 6 times that something to the 6 minus 1 to the 5th power. We leave the inside function alone, and now we multiply by the derivative of the inside. We multiply by derivative of x cubed minus 2x is 3x squared minus 2. And that is our solution. All right, so here are some more for you to try. G of x equals 2e to the 8x cubed minus 2x plus 5x. Y equals square root of x to the 7th plus 3x squared. H of x equals the natural log of 4x to the 5th minus x squared. F of theta is tangent of e to the theta. And h of t equals cosine to the 5th of t. Just as a reminder, remember that 5th power there, this is an equivalent way to write cosine of t to the 5th power. So those two things are the same, but this is a common way to write powers of trig functions. So again, grab a piece of paper, pause, try those out, and we'll talk about them in a moment. Okay, our first function, g of x. So let's see, our inside function is this e to the something, so that exponent of e is the inside function, 2e to the something is our outside function. 5x is just separate. Remember when there is an addition, we can just take those derivatives separately. So we're going to think about the derivative of 2e to the 8x cubed minus 2x. And then after that, we're going to think about the derivative of 5x. So g prime of x is derivative of our outside function, derivative of 2e to the something. That's just 2e to that something, 8x cubed minus 2x. And now we're multiplying by the derivative of the inside. Don't forget the parentheses. Multiplying by a derivative of 8x cubed minus 2x is 24x squared minus 2. And that is using the chain rule to take the derivative of that first term, plus the derivative of 5x is just 5. And so that is our derivative. If we wish, we could rewrite that with the polynomial in front, but it's not necessary. So our next function is y equals the square root of x to the 7th plus 3x squared. So don't forget that the square root is the same thing as raising something to the 1/2 power. So this is the same as x to the 7th plus 3x squared to the 1/2 power. So this to the 1/2 power is our f of x. So this is our outside function, raising something to the 1/2 power. And the inside function is what's in the parentheses, x to the 7th plus 3x squared. So now let's take this derivative. Y prime is, when we take the derivative of something raised to the 1/2 power, we have 1/2 times that thing inside raised to the negative 1/2 power. So we brought down the exponent and we're going to leave the inside alone, and then we're going to decrease the exponent by 1. So 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2. Leave the inside alone, x to the 7th plus 3x squared. And now we're going to multiply by the derivative of the inside. Multiply by derivative of x to the 7th plus 3x squared is 7x to the 6th plus 3x squared's derivative is 6x. And now we can sort of rewrite that if we wish. So y prime is, so that's 7x to the 6th plus 6x, that's all in the numerator, 7x to the 6th plus 6x divided by, in the denominator we've got a 2 from that 1/2, and we've also got this negative, remember, brings this down into the bottom of the fraction, and that's a 1/2 power, that's a square root. So x to the 7th plus 3x squared. And that is our derivative. Okay, h of x equals natural log of 4x to the 5th minus x squared. So again, this thing inside the parentheses, 4x to the 5th minus x squared is our inside function, and our outside function is natural log of that. So remember that the derivative of natural log of something, derivative of natural log of x, is 1 over x. So we know that. So when we take the derivative of this outside function, h prime of x is equal to derivative of the outside function, 1 over 4x to the 5th minus x squared. We're leaving the inside function alone, and the inside is just like our x over here, multiplied by the derivative of the inside, multiplied by derivative of 4x to the 5th is 20x to the 4th, minus derivative of x squared is 2x. And so this is equal to 20x to the 4th minus 2x all over 4x to the 5th minus x squared. If we want, we could take an x out of each of those terms. So we can cancel an x out of each of those terms. That's equal to 20x to the 3rd minus 2 divided by 4x to the 4th minus x. And that is our derivative, h prime of x. Okay, so f of theta is tangent of e to the theta. Our outside function is tangent of e to the theta, And so our inside function is our e to the theta. So that's our inside function. So f prime of theta, the derivative is, derivative of tangent is secant squared of, leave the inside alone, e to the theta, multiplied by the derivative of the inside. Derivative of e to the variable is just e to the variable. And so that is our answer. We could also write that as e to the theta secant squared of e to the theta. All right, next we've got h of t equals cosine to the fifth of t. As I said, this is equivalent to cosine of t to the fifth power. And so our inside function is cosine of t. Our outside of function is raising it to the fifth power. And so when we take this derivative, h prime of t is equal to derivative of x to the fifth power is 5x to the fourth. And so we're leaving the inside alone, cosine of t, and then multiplying by the derivative of the inside. Derivative of cosine of t is negative sine of t. And so we could just leave that as it is, or we could write it as negative 5 sine t cosine to the fourth of t.